All right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Friday right here on Enterprise Television. Now to our main conversation for today. Nigeria is in protests. Several key cities came to a halt for hours on Thursday as thousands of mostly young Nigerians took to major streets to press home their demand for an end to bad governance. No fewer than 14 protesters, including a policeman, lost their lives on the first day of the protest against hardship in the country.
Very true. Those killed included 6 in Suleja in Niger State, 4 in Maiduguri in Borno State, 3 in Kaduna State, and 1 in Kebbi State. The protest was largely peaceful in Lagos, Oyo, and Osun states. At Suleja, dozens of protesters also sustained injuries.
And perhaps fearing that things could get out of hand, the Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State imposed a 24 hours curfew following reports of looting and destruction of public and private property.
Very true, but it's sad that the governor addressed reporters on the incident at Government House in Kano on Thursday, the first day of the protest, after the gatehouse of the Nigerian Communications Commission in the state was set ablaze by angry protesters. Henry.
Yes, there seems to be a reversal of the nature of the protest. During the EndSARS, it was predominantly done in the south of Nigeria. For the bad governance is now going to the north of Nigeria. President Sofeli, why do we see a little bit of a swing? Like it shouldn't be the entire country.
The EndSARS protest was the entire country.
But it was predominantly, the violence actually predominantly happened in the south of Nigeria.
No, the military came and introduced violence to it. There was no violence at all. The federal government introduced violence to it at the Lekki toll gate. Otherwise, the protest was all over the country. And if you look at this one too in Abuja, the police started the spike. They were the one that started intimidating people, talking tough. Even the Alga was talking tough too. And perhaps that motivated them to also create what they have created. Now, in the far north, they are looting, they are stealing and all that. You see, there's something the federal government must. There's a motif that runs through protests in Nigeria. There's nothing like peaceful protests.
There's nothing like peaceful protest.
That is why government should do everything to ensure that there's no protest at all. That is to provide for the people and manage Nigeria proper. You know what? Your citizens are not empowered. Your citizens are not highly educated. Your citizens aren't, if they are that educated, if they are that empowered, they will not be defecating on the expressway. So you have a huge chunk of them doing open defecation. Is that the citizens that will do peaceful protests for you?
But it should be an international thing. Black Lives Matter was violent in the United States.
I understand, but when you check when it gets violent in the West, check out the things that people go out to loot. You see them carry television, okay? But here, people go and get what to eat, food, and they'll be eating it there. You understand? You see somebody will take a tin of milk, open it, and maybe have it running. You understand? So, because let me to be frank with you, in America, food is not a problem. Food is not a problem that much. A lot of people are homeless in America, but they have a truck, they have a car. Everything is in that car. Okay? You know, where I stayed in Atlanta, some guys, they have families, wife, 2 children, 3, 2, 1, like that. They are living inside that truck. Okay? They're out of job. Sometimes the man just came from jail. His record is already battered. With that record, you can't get a job again until a reasonable time when you are fully integrated, they wipe off the record. Okay, for you to be able to integrate society, except you do manual jobs where your record will not be checked. But they have necessaries, you know, and all that. So we're talking, there is a different society. The reason people will loot here, not the reason they are looting over there. Okay, and what they will take, not what people will. So people are hungry and they are doing what they do. This is not to encourage looting and all that, but we're saying that if this government are taking steps adequate notice was given. Okay, like he suggested in one of our programs, that why don't you, this rice everybody's complaining about, which you know that almost everybody is, why don't you make it available? Either way, cut the price down or make it available to the people. Address this fuel subsidy thing. This fuel subsidy thing that it's not an intelligent decision. Oh, you cannot continue to hold on to it and be entrenching because of pride. Who is this serving? This policy, who is this serving? It's not serving anybody any good. Okay? So how much money do you want to make from it? You said before that people are benefiting from it. That's why. And why can't you go after them? So why should you punish the entire country because of that? You don't have a handover note yet. As an elected president, you don't have a handover note. You don't know what's on the record. They just start with policies. So people will be stranded. And what is going on now is that people have seen that they have measured government response with the notice. And they have seen that the government is not interested in addressing the issue.
Thank you.
That is part of why this thing is going violent. The government are not interested. In places in Lagos, nobody came to address anybody. Okay, apart from the CP. Okay, and in so many other places. In Taraba State, the people who led the protest were between 13 and 80 years old. Did you see that?
Yeah, very true.
They were so peaceful. In fact, they were running and somersaulting. Too much energy. You understand? They led the protest. The elders didn't come out. But their children were out there leading the protest. To tell you, it's an indication that as young as these children are, because government think that the child that is 13 years old today is a child that used to be 13 years old in the 80s. That's what they think. But that's not the case any longer. These children are global citizens because they have access to the internet. They are global citizens. So the best you can do is to up their game. Okay? Up their game. Give them, they are still, they can see, they watch American have talents. They watch all those shows. They see what their age mates are doing all over the world. Then you have a government that entrap them in this place. They don't have the opportunity. They don't have access to lights. They don't have access to clean water. You don't provide for them. Many of them don't have access to education. Okay, so those ones constitute their own. And in that protest is a mix of all that. While some understand the protest and the agenda, a huge chunk of them do not understand. Those ones that climb the
traffic light.
How much is he going to sell that thing? Want to pull down? So whom is he going to sell it to? So it's just sabotage. So we need to do more for the citizens in this country. We've done so much for the rich. We've done so much for the privileged. How about the less privileged and those who don't have access? This country must focus on them. That is what they are saying.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Philly. Over to you, Emeka Magnago. Going to Kano, there's been a curfew that has been instigated by the sitting governor. Now, before now, the citizens have actually given the government prior notice of this particular protest that is upcoming, and the government is saying that they are trying to avoid violence. Now, who is to be held responsible? Because from yesterday's protest, some violence happened. Though some would, if we would actually state it happening in Abuja, would say, okay, the citizens reacted because the security agents that was supposed to protect them, the trained tear gas against them. Now, who is to be held responsible for this violence? Is it the citizens or the government?
You can't hold the victims. You can't hold the victims of a crime responsible. It's just like saying that because a woman wore a male outfit, then she was molested. You can't justify that in any kind of same people. You understand? These people are hungry. The problem, this is Sonny Okoso, was one of the prophets we had in this country in the years back. He sang one song. He said, give power to the people, power to the people. The problem is we take power and put in the hands of a few individuals like headmasters. And then we think, we purport that they can think for everybody. It's not possible. You remove fuel subsidy. Instead of taking the money and using it to revive the refineries, you now give it to the governors. You increase allocation to the governors. To the state. You increase allocation to local governments. And all of these things are being stolen. These governors will take this money, go and, anytime they collect check from Abuja, they will go and change this money into dollars. Then the thing was affecting the exchange rate. And you, Tinubu, President Bola Tinubu, actually said it. You called the governors and said that what you people are doing to this economy is wrong. You have said it at different forum, but you still gave them more. So you have caught them robber, right? Instead of seizing his weapon, taking him to court, for him to be sent to jail, you are now loaded. You loaded his weapon with more bullets, in fact, earlier bullets. Who does that? That's what I'm talking about. Tinubu actually did something which could have averted this protest. He said that rice will be sold for 40,000 naira.
Where is the rice?
Now, what I expected was immediately, even if it's, you see, these people are just, they are so empty. The rice didn't come out, and people were waiting. People were making calls on social media. Please, does anybody know where the rice is being sold for 40,000? How do you do this to yourself? I mean, that is why, you see, the arrogance of the people in power, their emptiness, their ineptitude, and their refusal to learn from other countries is where we situate the problem. What am I talking about? People gave you ample notice, 3 weeks, that they were going to go on the protest, which was very simple. You could have addressed the issues. What you did was you now deployed, somebody who is even suffering the vagaries of the constitution, to go wasting time talking in the nonsense, and then you now, towards the end, you started trying to make efforts. Then a day to the protest, you now brought an Apache who speaks before he thinks and said, we'll be eating. Oh, come on. Let me tell you, see, Tinubu, well, the Somalia may mean well, but you see the crowd around him are his worst enemies.
Now, when you talk about the crowds around him, Dapo Abiodun, on an interview yesterday, was asked what the government is doing to ensure that this comes to a rest. He said the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the first administration in the history of Nigeria that has engaged so many Nigerians prior to a protest.
In what? Engaged.
So don't you think that is fair? And
engaged in what? You see, the problem
is showing that the people.
What was what do you call it now? What came out of that engagement in terms of
the same that was Abiodun that was booked at a private university some days ago when he tried to say that there's no hunger. I was at an event of editors some days ago. One of Tinubu's states said something. People said, no, stop it. These are people you think are eating well. Lagos State Commissioner for Information, Ben Omotoso came, and business saying like, people said, no. So what are you talking about? These people are just deceiving themselves. Why not come out and speak the truth? Because if you speak the truth, you will die. If you don't speak the truth, you will die.
So these guys are politicians.
No, but politics should not be about falsehood, spreading falsehood.
But that's what they're doing.
Now, you're talking about whom to blame. Look, if the economy is okay, people will still protest, because human wants are insensitive.
Yeah.
Like in Ireland now, people are protesting against mass migration. Now you allow too many people in. Because those benefits they took for granted, more people are jumping into it. Nigerians, who are relocating. Years back, it was easy to relocate and go into the social care, But now, Eastern Europeans are struggling with them, and Indians are struggling with them for no jobs.
Yeah.
We can't complain because it's not in our country. So, when you look at all this, was there not a time we had a bank called Kano must go? We said Ghanaians should leave, we push people, and then after some years, they reciprocated. So, you see, human beings will always be, motivated to ask for better conditions. It's like that. There's nothing wrong with it, unlike what these people are trying to unintelligently say. What you do is this, you manage it. You see the Irish Prime Minister came and said, that's fine, why you are talking about mass migration? Don't engage in violence. Don't take flares to rallies and be shooting and because of it. All over the world, you have all of these things. People fighting over one thing or the other.
People must migrate.
there was agitations. But the thing is this: how do you manage it? Tinubu knows his biggest problem today are the governors. I don't know whether he's powerless against them, or I don't know. Because you gave them rights last year to share. It was a fiasco. You still again say price to them. I don't know what control they have over it. I just don't know. But I will go back again and just say, President Tinubu, look, that money that you took from subsidy, if you cannot manage the refineries, please put them up for sale. 1. 2, you see that money, put it into social welfare programs immediately. Bring in food from anywhere, doesn't matter, from Afghanistan, from Niger, from anywhere.
Or you should take that money and go back and pay subsidy.
No, I'm even coming to that. Sell those refineries. Now that you sell 450,000 barrels, right? It is what you can do is Nigeria gets 60%, of the production sharing contract between us and the oil majors. You can immediately put 20% on sale. You use it to settle your cash call arrears, right? Then from that, you will bring in more investors. Aramco, Petrobras, and the rest of them will come in, right? Then you will have enough money to deal with subsidy. As a matter of fact, you can enter into an agreement with Dangote. And okay, 650,000 barrels single train refinery. Okay, Dangote, we agreed with you before that we are going to take 20% in your refinery, but we made only 7.2%. Good, Dangote. We are going to pay that 20%. But you know what that's going to mean? That 20% is going to mean that we can sell at a determined price. Why? Because we are utilizing our shareholding in your company. The federal government bought 20% in different refineries. Why did you get to that and release it? Well, that's their own problem. But what I'm
the most viable of them.
Use that make up higher 20% and then use it, deploy it. You can now easily bring down the price of fuel. Because you know the thing is very simple. NNPC has sold all its retail outlets now. So those distributing fuel are the independent marketers. So what do you do? Good. Reach an agreement with independent marketers on how this fuel will be dropped. The bridging claims you pay bridging claims, you put all of those things together. And then price of fuel can come down. Because you know what? In a barrel, how many products you have? Minimum of 18, right? Now, if Nigerians need like 4 or 5 for basic everyday business, the remaining in business thinking, you can use that to discount for the price. You understand? Because there are others you don't need. You discount and then bring down fuel to 200 naira per litre. It's so easy to do. But you know, because there are people in government who are investors in all this milking of Nigerians. That's why. But
Nigeria is not designed to serve everyone. It's designed to just serve some people, and they believe that is the best way to run a country. But you cannot go very far at that. You can't have that huge resources and then you want it to only serve a few.
Okay, thank you, Barrister Philip. Now let's go into this particular Buhari's ministers joint protest, blast cows, mom to hardship, and the former Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalong, under the administration of President Muhammad Buhari, joined the protest against hardship. Now, we were talking about some of them that have been in government, didn't even come out to say anything about it. But now, seeing the action of Solomon Dalong with some other persons that were involved under the Buhari's administration coming out to join the protest, what do you make of it?
Well, you see, that for me is also another hypocrisy. Because when they were in government, they didn't do any better than what Tinubu is doing. In fact, Buhari's own is mom. It's just, in fact, his ministers were not even creative at all. You understand? It was just a locomotive administration. The man in charge of the administration was not always aware of anything. So what do you now ask the ministers to do? Did you see the corruption index under Buhari? It was huge, the corruption. And then the way he managed the resources. He was the one that introduced us into this forward sale agreement, which he used to then be lending money and building roads to Niger that had only 30% inside Nigeria, within Nigeria. So, and all that. So, the truth is that what Solomon Allah is trying to do now is he was a member of the FAC then, you understand, that took major decisions, including the one that the president used to collect money from everywhere. As at the time he was leaving, he almost was going to borrow, in fact, put us in negative, so that anything we are going to get as a country is already consumed. That's exactly what he did. He left a very fractured country. And this Solomon man used to be a lecturer in my university. In my days in university, I know him very well. He never taught me. So he cannot use that protest to then be talking about the fact that this government has done nothing or is doing nothing. Because the government that employed him did nothing. And part of what they did then snowballed to what we're having today. So it makes no difference really whether he protests or not. But his protest is in his own interests. This same Tinubu we are seeing now. You understand? After I leave office, maybe we'll gather now and start to protest against the person that is coming.
Now, speak to us still on the protest. Speak to us on this ethnic coloration that is given to the protest right about now.
I saw that.
Sheikh Hussaini has said that that why is it that in the southeast and most part of the south side of Nigeria, no protest is happening, it's relatively quiet, while the protest is happening more in the north of Nigeria and the southwest of Nigeria. Is it fair enough to say the reason the southeast and the south are not protesting is because they aren't feeling the pain?
No, not like they're not feeling the pain. You know, that time when they were talking about the Tinubu's government, how things became so tough and hard. You know, in the southeast, in fact, they were cooking, eating, even throwing food away. Telling the people that we told you that this man cannot fix anything. Don't go there, don't go. You see, they largely, maybe not official, but largely I know that the Easterners took a decision not to partake, but they warned you.
So that is a form of protest also.
It's a form of protest against the people's inability to design who should lead the country. It's not official. There's no official statement in the southeast. I stand to be corrected, but I don't think there's any official statement anywhere say, you know what, let's boycott the protest. I don't think so. I don't know.
Maybe from Ohanes and Libo actually made that.
No. Ohanes and Libo is not. They
also said people should not.
They said people should not protest. They said that. They said I remember. They said people shouldn't protest and all that. Even now the Kano said it. He said it that it's not. They shouldn't join the protest because they warned the nation then that this time. And then so the truth is that it's not like it's not affecting them. It's affecting them. The decision. I mean, if they're even selling fuel at a higher cost in the east, because they made it such that the seaports in the eastern part of the country or close south and all that, they are not working. Port Harcourt is not working. Water is not doing much. You understand? So definitely you are going to truck fuel from Lagos to. Anytime you see fuel in the east, you know it's struck from Lagos.
Now, don't you think this particular act would further create the divide that we have amongst ourselves, and knowing that the Southeasterners are not partaking pragmatically in the strike itself? Don't you think amongst other ethnic group it would really
the strike, the protest was largely, well, it got to Asaba, South, then to the other side.
Port Harcourt,
to Port Harcourt, you got to Benin.
Just skeleton.
The government addressed protesters.
Those yes, in Port Harcourt, in Rivers, he gave them bread and water.
Yes. Can't other governors lend or borrow a leaf from
people who are?
You see, the focus of this protest seems to be centered to the federal government, and I think that is not right. The protests should be against governors of states, because they are the ones who actually were the beneficiaries of the proceeds of subsidy. That is, after it was removed, the money was given to them. They went and they wasted it. the money for palliative too, which is different from that of the increment in their allocation, was also given to them. They didn't do anything with it. You understand? So while we protest against the federal government, we should hold our governors. In fact, march to the government house and ask for that subsidy money that is with them. Yes, the money is with them, and the money is for the masses. So why should we face the federal government squarely? It is because the federal government was a custodian of the money and took it and gave to the governors as beneficiaries. So if we are going to talk about who committed the offense, the federal government is the primary offender. The state governors are the secondary offenders. They are all in criminal conspiracy to take the commonwealth of this country and divert it. And that's exactly what has happened. So the protest should have that statement that the money given to the governor should be recalled, and that money should be paid into an account, so that the protesters and the government will sit in the round table and decide what they want to do with that. Because the money is still with them. They are not doing anything. Even the palliative money will ask for it they bring it also. Because you cannot buy 8 bags of rice for one state and then start to send one bag to each local government. And they say, I've done palliative. That's not right. Some states, they turned it to their political party. They took the palliative and gave to the chairman of the party. And they start to look at it. So I don't think that is right.
All right.
Let me just
yeah, please, Jim.
The Southeast. You see, I remember a late politician, Alhaji Abubakar Saraki, Lushola Saraki, who was heavyweight in NPM those days. There was one night he addressed his followers, it was on the eve of an election. So they came to ask him, what do you think we should do? Then it was PDP. What do you think we should do? And then, what he told them? He said, when I've looked to the sky and there are stars everywhere, but I can't tell whether it will rain tomorrow. But when you are going out to vote, go along with your umbrella in case it rains. That was a very smart message. In other words, vote for PDP. Because the umbrella is symbol of the PDP. Look at the messages by all of them. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, and the rest of them. The underlying theme of their messages was exactly what Harris said. Even though they are in cahoots with this government. But you could see that in a way it reinforced that idea that we told you people about this one. But they won't say. Yeah. The second thing is that in Norway, some days ago, some armed robbers killed a POS operator and 4 policemen. Yeah. And they were shouting, no protest, no protest, no protest. So that even raised the specter of fear across the South. Because these days, you don't even know who is who. Exactly. You don't even know who is who. So everybody, people just be very well conveniently. Let's even observe the sit at home for the whole week. Let's even stay in the house. Yes. So it is just a way, of also telling the government at the federal and the state levels, no government levels, they've not done well. At the kindred levels, people are actually providing palliatives
for themselves.
Yes. At local government level, a lot of things are being done in the Southeast, So the point is that let the government learn, let people learn from other places how to take care of the people. It will help him. Okay. But you see this idea of resorting to ethnic, to ethnic hatred and all that, it only expose him as, just being unprepared for leadership. All
right, just before we wrap up for today, a very quick highlight here, a funny one. Actually, a protester that had a placard that said, "Now because of bad government, I never see husband at 37."
Yes. No, well, in a way, men are finding it very difficult to settle down. You can't settle down empty. Some people say, I need to settle down in the next 2 years, You need to get some resources. Otherwise, you'll be embarrassed, very embarrassed. If you try to settle down without resources, It takes resources to get set. Forget about people who philosophize on it. They'll tell you that you don't need to have money. All you need is just to listen to motivational speakers. Where they will tell you that I started this restaurant with 2 Maggi, and today it has become whatever it is. You need practical resources, and you need a plan, a projection. Now today, the youth are largely unemployed, heavily unemployed. About how many percent unemployed, and they are not empowered because their local government chairman cannot access enough funds from the governor. The governor does not care about the state or the people, to empower the people. Many of them don't care, really. So, how will they settle? Some of them have gone back to their villages to farm. It's one other very viable way. You can go to the village. Not everybody wants to do farm work. But for those who go to farm, they're able to raise resources, confine themselves to their local environment, marry as many wives as possible. And people have been encouraged today to marry as many women as possible to reduce. In fact, somebody went as far as saying that marriage is nothing but a poverty alleviation program. So that people should marry. But the female folks said no. That it has to be them alone. And you're having the female folks outnumbering the male folks. So how are you going to manage the crisis in the long term? Okay, so it's one brooding crisis that it will become a national issue at some point. Yes, it will become a national issue and perhaps maybe legislation will be passed.
Like in Swaziland.
Yes, because in Swaziland, the women even came out to protest. There was a protest that. Yeah, there was a protest that you have to deregulate this thing about monogamy. That's not Africa. That every family should be polygamous. Because if you maintain monogamy, it means that a huge chunk of the population of the female folks will be left without any support. So some of them will migrate, some of them will, but whatever it is that they should be able to. I don't know how practical we're going to be here. Or I don't know, but when we get to that point, we will see to it on how to resolve the problem. Religion will no longer count for anything at that level. If you have a religion that says it has to be one man, and there's another religion that says 1 to 4. Perhaps even that one.
Even the tradition that says 1 to as many.
Yes, even that religion that says 1 to 4. Perhaps they have to amend the religious book. Or amend the religious book should be amended to accommodate the reality of the now.
Very true.
That's what I think.
All right, Emeka, I don't know. That's your last thought of that.
I really feel for people, young people who are getting married, who are just like what they say of marriageable age, but so you hear all kinds of ideas. Women should have their own money. And I remember growing up, I never heard anything like that. Women should have their own money. Because when we were growing up, the family had one economy. So everything, we just knew that, father and mother, every organization, they were enter into the home, lock the door, we just be hearing, whispering. Then the mother will come and so don't worry, I'm going to the market. How they were able to sort out those things, you don't know. It was a private conference. But you just saw Mama after some hours, you come back. Or maybe some of you will come here and there'll be food. Somehow, if we had to go to the farm, some of those times when we had to go to the farm, of course, it was everybody that was involved. It was a family.
A common economy. Yeah.
But now, they're saying women should have their own money. Men should have their own money. In a marriage, you see women saying,
it's division.
One woman was saying that she left her marriage because she was providing more than the man. When we were growing up, we didn't know whether our mothers were providing more than our fathers. The point was that there was food on the table.
And you could go to school.
Our school fees were paid. We had clothes and other things. But the other thing was that our parents also taught us to be entrepreneurial in thinking. So during holidays,
even the schools then, They ask you to you do brooms,
Yes,
you bring it, you do
Yes.
you farm, you have a piece of land where you farm, you do all this, and even in the home front, you don't have anything like gender roles and whatever.
Nothing.
If it's your turn to wash plate today, whether you are male or female, you enter the kitchen and do it. You cook. Everybody cooks in my house and all that. But there's one thing that's missing in this generation. You know, in those days when our parents resolve those issues, and mommy goes to the market, there's this thing they call balls. It's very hard. I want to lead a protest for them to bring back balls. It's very important. You know, when they buy it in those days, they share it to everybody. You stay in your corner. Everybody stay in their corner. Everybody's busy. It's like phone. You'll be munching it. But I don't know where that is. What is balls?
Somebody wrote an article, I was listening. And I miss my mother. I said,
those things are
my
gone.
mother said, I called her to say, okay, I'm coming to visit you very soon. How can we prepare this? But these things are no longer there.
They're not there.
Noodles, pasta. What was all that? You know, what was all that? That's why you see nutrition today is also a game. I've said it before. That we should have a serious nutrition plan. Part of the problem today is that the kind of food we consume are not good for the health of people. They are not good for their brains, and they make people also more aggressive, more prone to aggression. When people don't have enough to eat, and then the food they eat also makes them prone to aggression.
Like during the protest, somebody was in Port Harcourt. So asking the federal government why the size of Loi. You know what Loi is?
Swallow.
Not just swallow. Yeah, fufu. Have you seen the size? Have you seen the size of fufu lately? That is asking the federal government what has happened to the size of Loi. That's why he came out, and that's his own.
Very true.
You understand? So
fufu was called Santana.
Santana.
And
That's
AKA 606.
Yeah.
So then when you ate it for a whole day,
You are okay.
okay.
Very
But
true.
now, even 30 minutes
It has lost its strength. It has lost
Thank you, Mr. Felix. Thank you, Kamana.
Yes, Choma, I hope you're not scared. With the issue we have in our country, I hope you're not scared as a spinster.
I'm not scared,
Yes.
and I'm just enthusiastic that maybe I will believe that this protest would actually change the narrative.
And maybe bring suitors because Choma is, I won't say it. Well, people, that's all we have for our show today. We truly do thank you for being with us. But please visit our website at enterprisetvnews.com and also follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV S7. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Choma Okoha.
So we promise to bring you update minute by minute on what's happening on the field for #and bad governance protest. I'm Henry Igwebike. On behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching once more, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.